Stop right now. Close your eyes for 5 seconds. Think about the one thing you are most afraid of. Got it? Good. Now, here is the secret the universe tried to whisper to you. That fear, that pressure, that crushing weight. It is literally not real. It is an energetic shadow cast by something much simpler, much older, and far more easily dissolved than you can imagine. This is not therapy. This is an operation on your consciousness. Most people spend their entire lives fighting the symptoms of fear. They try to be braver. They try to distract themselves. They chase money, thinking security will fix it. But imagine trying to fight a shadow with a sword. It is useless. That is because fear is not an entity you can fight. It is a complete absence. Think of it this way. Everything, every single atom in the universe is fundamentally pure energy, pure awareness. What ancient teachers call light. This light is eternal. It does not die, and it cannot be harmed. If you are that light, how can you ever be afraid? So if everything is pure light, where does the shadow come from? It is not magic. It is mathematics. When you assume yourself to be a small, separate, temporary object within the light, you instantly cast a shadow. This object is the ego, your personal identity, your name, your job title, your history. It is the false conclusion that you are separate from the rest of existence. And the shadow this temporary object casts, that is the consequence. That is fear. Fear of loss, fear of pain, and ultimately, fear of death. The more identified you are with the object, the larger and darker the shadow becomes. Let me show you exactly how this mechanism works in your daily life. Right now, as you read these words, there is a baseline hum of anxiety running through your nervous system. You might not even notice it anymore. It has become the wallpaper of your existence. A low-grade tension in your shoulders, a tightness in your chest that you have learned to ignore, a constant mental checklist running in the background. This is not normal. This is not how consciousness is meant to experience itself. This is the price you pay for believing you are the object. Think about your morning. You wake up, and within seconds, the weight descends. Before you even open your eyes, your mind is already cataloging threats. The email you need to send, the conversation you are dreading, the bill that is coming due, the relationship that feels fragile. Your body tenses before you even leave the bed. Why? Because the ego has convinced you that you are a vulnerable, separate entity that must defend itself against an uncertain world. But here is what is actually happening. That anxiety is not coming from the future. The future does not exist yet. That anxiety is coming from the ego's desperate attempt to maintain its illusion of control. The ego believes it must predict, manage, and manipulate reality to ensure your survival. But the ego is not real. It is a thought pattern, a habitual contraction of consciousness. And the fear it generates, that is the shadow of this contraction. Let us go deeper into the architecture of this shadow. Fear operates on 3 fundamental levels, each one building upon the last, creating a prison that feels absolutely real. The first level is physical fear. This is the most obvious, the most primitive, the fear of pain, injury, death. Your body recoils from fire. Your nervous system screams when you stand at the edge of a cliff. This is biological, encoded into your DNA by millions of years of evolution. This fear kept your ancestors alive. It is not the enemy. But here is the problem. Your ego has hijacked this survival mechanism. It has extended physical fear into territories where it does not belong. Now you experience the same physiological response. Racing heart, shallow breathing, cortisol flooding your system. When someone criticizes you on social media, when your bank account dips below a certain number, when you imagine a future where you have failed, your body cannot tell the difference between a genuine physical threat and an imagined social or psychological one. The ego has weaponized your survival instinct against you. The second level is psychological fear. This is fear of the loss of your identity, fear of humiliation, fear of rejection. Fear of being wrong. Fear of being seen as weak, stupid, or unworthy. This fear is entirely a construct of the ego. Your true self, the eternal light, cannot be humiliated. Consciousness cannot fail. Awareness cannot be rejected. But the ego, this temporary object you have mistaken for yourself, is fragile. It requires constant validation from the external world. It needs to be right. It needs to be respected. It needs to be loved. And because the ego knows, deep down, that it is not real, it lives in constant terror of being exposed. Every criticism feels like an existential threat. Every failure feels like annihilation. Because to the ego, it is. When someone attacks your beliefs, your achievements, your reputation, the ego experiences this as a threat to its very existence. And so it responds with fear, defensive fear, the kind that makes you lash out, withdraw, or freeze, the kind that keeps you small, safe, and suffering. The third level is existential fear. This is the deepest layer, the foundation upon which all other fears rest. This is the fear of non-existence, the fear of death, not just physical death, but the death of the I, the terror that one day you will cease to be, that everything you have built, everyone you have loved, every memory you have cherished will dissolve into nothingness. This is the shadow at the core of the shadow, and it is the most powerful illusion you will ever face. Because here is the truth. You cannot die. Not the real you. The ego can die. In fact, it must. This temporary construct of identity, this collection of thoughts and memories you call me, will absolutely dissolve. But consciousness, awareness, the light that is looking through your eyes right now, that is eternal. It was here before you were born. It will be here after you die. You are not the wave. You are the ocean. The wave rises, crashes, and disappears. But the ocean remains. When you deeply realize this, existential fear evaporates, not because you have convinced yourself of some comforting belief, but because you have seen through the fundamental illusion. Now, let us examine how the ego maintains this illusion. How does it keep you trapped in the shadow? The ego uses three primary strategies, and they are so subtle, so ingrained, that you probably do not even notice them operating. The first strategy is identification. The ego constantly tells you stories about who you are. I am a person who struggles with anxiety. I am someone who has been hurt. I am not good enough. I am successful. I am a failure. Every single one of these statements is the ego constructing a temporary object and then defending it. And the more you identify with these stories, the more real they become. The more real they become, the larger the shadow grows. You start to believe that these stories define you, that without them, you would cease to exist. So you cling to them, even when they cause you pain, especially when they cause you pain, because a painful identity is still an identity, and the ego would rather suffer than dissolve. The second strategy is projection. The ego takes the formless, infinite present moment and projects it onto a timeline, past and future. It tells you that your past defines you, that you are the sum of your experiences, your traumas, your victories. And it tells you that your future determines your worth, that you must achieve, acquire, and become something more than you are now to finally be safe, happy, or complete. This projection creates a prison of time. You are never here. You are always somewhere else, regretting the past, fearing the future. And in this projection, fear thrives. Because the past is filled with wounds the ego believes it must protect, and the future is filled with threats the ego believes it must anticipate. But here is the reality. The past is not happening. It is a memory, a thought arising right now. The future is not happening. It is an imagination, a thought arising right now. The only thing that is actually real, actually happening, is this moment. And in this moment, right now, are you in danger? Right now, As you read these words, is there a physical threat present? Or is the fear you are feeling simply a story about a threat that is not here? The third strategy is resistance. The ego resists reality. It resists what is. It tells you that this moment should not be the way it is, that you should be different, that your circumstances should be different, that other people should be different. And this resistance creates suffering, because reality is reality. It is what it is. Fighting it is like fighting gravity. You will lose every single time, but the ego does not care. The ego would rather be right than be at peace, and so it resists. And the resistance creates tension, and the tension manifests as fear. Fear that you will not get what you want. Fear that you will lose what you have. Fear that you are not in control. And you are not in control. You never were. The ego is the illusion of control, and the moment you try to exert control over reality, you create the shadow. So now we arrive at the crucial question. How do you dissolve the object? How do you let the light shine through? Here is the good news. You do not fight the shadow. You cannot. If you want to eliminate the shadow, you must eliminate the object. Once the light of true wisdom, of realizing your actual, eternal nature, shines through your assumed identity, the ego dissolves. It is not a struggle. It is a realization. When the object vanishes, the shadow vanishes naturally. Fear is not conquered by willpower. It is dissolved by knowledge. All the anxieties, all the procrastination, all the fear of criticism, they are all consequences of the ego fighting for its survival. But the survival of the ego means the survival of your fear. There are two primary paths to letting that light shine through. Think of them as two doors to the same freedom. Let me walk you through both in detail so you can choose the one that resonates with your nature. The first path is the path of understanding. This is the path of the intellect, the seeker, the philosopher. This is inquiry. This path asks, who am I really? Not who do I think I am? Not who have I been told I am? But who am I at the deepest, most fundamental level? This practice begins with observation. You start to watch your thoughts rather than being your thoughts. You notice that thoughts arise and pass away. They come and go like clouds in the sky. You do not create them. They appear. You do not control them. They move. So if thoughts arise on their own, and you are observing them, then who are you? You are not the thoughts. You are the one watching the thoughts. Next, you observe your emotions. Fear arises. Anger arises. Joy arises. They come and go like weather patterns. You do not create them. They appear. You do not control them. They shift. So if emotions arise on their own, and you are observing them, then who are you? You are not the emotions. You are the one watching the emotions. Then you observe your body. Sensations arise. Pain, pleasure, tension, relaxation. They come and go like waves on the ocean. You do not create them. They happen. You do not control them. They change. So if sensations arise on their own, and you are observing them, then who are you? You are not the body. You are the one watching the body. Now, you arrive at the deepest question. Who is watching? What is this awareness that observes thoughts, emotions, and sensations? Can you observe the awareness itself? No, because you are the awareness. You are not an object. You are the subject, the eternal witness, the light that illuminates everything but cannot itself be seen. This is the realization. You are not the ego. You are the consciousness in which the ego appears. And once this is seen, really seen, the ego loses its grip. It does not disappear immediately. The patterns remain. But now you know they are just patterns. They are not you. And in that knowing, the shadow begins to dissolve. The second path is the path of trust. This is the path of the heart, the devotee, the mystic. This is surrender. This path says, I cannot figure this out with my mind. I cannot think my way to freedom. I cannot dismantle the ego through intellectual effort. Instead, I will surrender. I will give this burden, the burden of being a separate self, to something greater. Call it God. Call it the universe. Call it life. Call it love. The name does not matter. What matters is the act of surrender. You stop trying to manage reality. You stop trying to control outcomes. You stop defending your identity. You say, I trust that I am held. I trust that I am loved. I trust that I am fundamentally safe. And in that trust, the ego relaxes its grip, because the ego's entire function is protection. It exists because it believes you need protection. But when you trust that you are already safe, that you are already whole, that you are already enough, the ego has no job to do, and it dissolves, not through effort, but through release. This is why so many spiritual traditions emphasize devotion, prayer, and surrender. Because when you truly surrender, you are no longer the object. You are the light, allowing itself to be lived. You are the river, allowing itself to flow. You are the breath, allowing itself to be breathed. And in that surrender, there is no fear, because there is no one to be afraid. Now, let us bring this into the practical, messy reality of your daily life. Because philosophy is beautiful, but if it does not change your Monday morning, what is the point? You will still wake up with deadlines. You will still have difficult conversations. You will still face uncertainty. But here is what changes: your relationship to all of it. When you realize you are not the ego, fear becomes something you observe rather than something you are. Let us say you have a presentation at work. The old you, identified with the ego, would spiral. What if I mess up? What if they think I am incompetent? What if this ruins my career? The ego is in full panic mode because it believes the presentation is a threat to its survival. But the new you, the one who has seen through the illusion, experiences it differently. The nervousness still arises. The butterflies in your stomach, the quickened heartbeat. These are physiological responses. They are neutral, but now you are not identified with them. You observe them. There is nervousness. The body is preparing for a high-stakes situation. This is energy, not danger. You do not fight the feeling. You do not try to suppress it or overcome it. You simply let it be there, and you move forward anyway, because you know that the real you, the consciousness, the light, cannot be harmed by a presentation. The ego might take a hit if it does not go well, but you are not the ego. And in that knowing, there is freedom. Or let us say someone criticizes you publicly, harshly, unfairly. The old you would be devastated. The ego would scramble to defend itself, to prove them wrong, to retaliate, to withdraw in wounded pride. But the new you observes the reaction. There is the ego feeling attacked. There is anger arising. There is the urge to defend. You do not suppress these responses. You let them be there, but you do not identify with them. You do not believe them. And so they pass, like everything else. And what remains is clarity. The ability to hear the criticism without being destroyed by it. Maybe there is truth in it. Maybe there is not. Either way, your worth is not at stake, because your worth is not dependent on external validation. You are the light, and the light does not need anyone's approval. Or let us say you face financial uncertainty. The bills are stacking up. The numbers do not add up. The future feels terrifying. The old you would be consumed by fear. The ego would catastrophize. I am going to lose everything. I will end up homeless. I am a failure. But the new you observes the fear without becoming it. There is fear arising. The ego is panicking. The body is tense. You acknowledge all of it. And then you take action from a place of clarity rather than panic. You look at the numbers. You make a plan. You reach out for help if you need it. But you do all of this without the added weight of existential terror. Because you know that even if you lose everything, you are still here. The consciousness witnessing all of this cannot be touched by financial ruin. The light remains. And from that place of knowing, you are far more capable of navigating the challenge than you ever were from a place of fear. This is the transformation. This is what dissolves when the object dissolves. Not the challenges, not the circumstances, but the crushing weight of believing you are a small, vulnerable, separate self that must somehow survive all of this alone. You are not alone. You are not separate. You are not small. You are the infinite consciousness, experiencing itself as a human being. And when you know this, really know this, everything changes. So, the choice is yours. Continue to fight the shadow, or begin the work of dissolving the object. Here is your practice for today. Spend 10 minutes practicing either the path of understanding or the path of trust. Just 10 minutes for the path of understanding. Sit quietly. Watch your thoughts arise and pass. Ask yourself, who is watching? Return to that question again and again. For the path of trust, sit quietly. Place your hand on your heart. Say, either out loud or silently, I trust, I am held, I am safe. Feel what arises and let it be there. That is it. 10 minutes, because when that fear finally lifts, when the shadow finally dissolves, what you will accomplish in your life is something you cannot even imagine yet. The energy you have been spending on anxiety will become available for creation. The clarity you have been seeking will emerge naturally. The love you have been craving will reveal itself as what you already are. This is not a metaphor. This is the literal architecture of your consciousness. And now you have the blueprint. The ego is the object. Fear is the shadow. The light is what you are. Stop fighting the shadow. Dissolve the object and watch what happens.